All right, morning folks. So I put out my Variax 59 the other day, and I was setting up this thing some months ago and never did a video on it. So I wanted to record this before I do any more updates, just in case I lose anything, you know. What I tend to do with my Variax is control it graphically from OnSong, which you can see on screen here. This first custom bank has a Duesenberg bridge, neck, and middle set up, and then on the 2 and 4 positions I've got an acoustic Glendalough patch and then a Strat that's been modded up. Now here in the back I have what's going to be the big rig. I've just powered up this middle one here. I'm going to show you why I've gone with these bridges. They do something very different. As you can see here, there's 2 little lead pipes set up. The one on the left, which is a long press, that is a selector to show you what's up. And these are smart. So if I hold in here, it's jumping to that bank and activating it. And it has the color. Now the colors on here refer to what's there on screen. So if I switch there, you can see those colors match up. So I'm going to go back to the start of this thing. So doozy neck, kind of pinky. It's kind of pinky on screen. The acoustic is blue, orange for the Duesenberg neck, purple for the Strat, and green for that. Now at a distance, because these things pump so high, you can pretty well much see that. So what I'm hoping to do is with the iPad, which is what I'm recording this on screen, if I go through and click these things, by sending little CC messages to the bridge over wireless, see that's got a little Midi setup in there. This will switch this over and activate the same guitar that you're seeing on screen. It'll show up here, which is pretty cool. Now, there might be a way to do that actually from the Variax where you can switch around. But typically, I'm just flicking through these things on the Variax controller, listening to the sounds and seeing stuff, and then I'll note, okay, that's where it is, and maybe I'll save that if it sounds really good and attach it to a preset in whichever modeler I'm using. So there's your on. Now, this other side here is basically on a hold command that's doing a toggle to activate that particular switch. And these are smart, kind of like snapshots in a Helix. It's a radio button setup. So where I'm holding that in, what I'm hopefully going to end up having this do is send a command to move to the right page here. So I could hold that in. It will bring me up to the right page in OnSong with those guitars on it. So you should be able to see those on screen. And then looking at the color, you'll be able to see what's going on. So there's your Les Paul neck. Firebird, that's probably the wrong one. Firebird 76. Where is it? There's one, but I've set up all of these things. There you go. So Firebird 76. So this thing is telling you exactly the type of guitar, the year, and the pickup that's being selected by it. There you go. 55, bridge and neck. 76, just bridge. Pretty cool that. So you're getting on the floor a little descriptor of what's on there. Stuff that you would have on the big Helix floor as well. And you can reprogram the Helix floor to show you exactly which model you're messing with in certain places. It takes a bit of doing, but it's a bit easier than doing it this way. But here, when you check that out, that's 6 banks with 5 messages going through. Smart messages to do that jumping so that you can tell which bank you're on. and then selectors like that, just so that you can try stuff. This was something that I started, got a long way through, and never videoed. So I thought, that's an idea. Probably, going to be worth trying that out. That was the Les Paul with P90s, da-da-da. Bridge and neck. Les Paul 90 bridge. 59. There we go. So, neck and then P90. 59, P90. 59. So you can see what I'm indicating here with my thumb is working, and on screen those color combinations work. That's pretty cool. If you're wandering around, this whole thing is meant to be wireless. This is using Christian Graph's wireless Midi jack cable on my 59p, so I can pretty much walk around. You can come over here and just use this with the Midi, so that Midi will go to the Midi on the Variax. And you can come here and make selections and see in real time which guitar it is, and jump banks. Hope that's clear. It was an idea. Getting this to work back the other way, I think that's probably where I stopped at the time. It was a good weekend's worth of work, recoloring all these things and making it work, but these are the MIDI events that it's sending out. Switch with action controls, and these I've got to go through and check out. This also has the Variax modeler selection for Helix or Stomp, which was a completely different way of doing it. What I used to do way back in the day, like maybe 5 years ago, in the Mini Mad Sinus Club, I set up a CC 109, and I had that saved in the Helix, and just by changing the value of that, you could jump straight to the model. That was another way of doing it. The way to do it here without a Helix floor, sometimes, lugging around the whole big Helix is not something I really want to do, whereas this thing fits in a little bag and quite frankly can do a hell of a lot more stuff. So there are these actions that are set up, which I've programmed into OnSong here. There's no way to remember all this stuff. Like, this is all held in different Excel files all over the place, what these things do. But I'm gonna try and get this working again now that I'm going for the next month or so with my Variax, all in battery, all wireless. Just thought that might be interesting for anyone who's doing serious automation with these things. And it's cool in OnSong is that you could, if you're playing songs or set lists, you can switch the Variax guitar to whichever bank and whichever model you want as you're going through the song without even looking at it. So you don't have to change knobs, you don't have to do anything. If you're doing pre-programmed stuff like that, cool. Me, I tend not to be doing that. What I'm doing is really just going through and listening, making changes, and then taking notes so that if something's really working out in a project or an idea, I can automate it later and then not have to think about this again. You just get up on stage and play, and you can switch from acoustic to doozy to whatever in real time. It would be interesting to see about doing this for different tunings as well. I know that can be done. I get to do it, I just tend to do that manually. But yeah, some cool Variax automation. The power of Pirate Midi's Bridge 6s. These things are wicked. So if you're gonna be looking at stuff, keep that in mind. I don't think anything else really does that sort of display or these smart messages, where these are smart groups doing that radio button thing. Boom. Got to get this all working. But anyway, these are due for an update, so I wanted to save the idea. At least I can remember what I was trying to accomplish, and then if all goes well, I can show this actually working fully, where the iPad is controlling the Bridge 6 and these lights are flicking around independently and showing you exactly what you've done on screen. Pretty damn cool. All right, that's it for today. End of this vlog.